It's Monday the 26th of September and welcome to From the South. Today, the Colombian government and the FARC group were prepared to sign a historic peace agreement after years of negotiations on the terms of the deal. Over a dozen presidents had confirmed their attendance to witness the event that would officially mark the end of a 52-year-old war. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, as well as US Secretary of State John Kerry, had also planned on attending. The text of the deal will later be submitted to a popular vote in a plebiscite to be held on October 2nd. Polls indicate the deal will be approved by a wide margin. However, there are still voices opposed to the peace agreement. Some Colombians believe the government is, quote, backing down before terrorists and narco-traffickers. They say the FARC rebels should have to answer for their own past crimes.
For 2 years, the Lenca people have been protesting in Tegucigalpa against the government and its decision to evict people out of their homes. The activists believe that the government is attempting to destroy their ancestral markets to make space for private corporations in Intibucá, southwest Honduras. The protesters are organized by Olivia ZUNIGA CACERES, the eldest daughter of Berta CACERES, under the name the Indigenous Coordination of the People's Power.
They are evicting people, and this means the destruction of small business in the ancestral Lenca market that for many years has been under threat. These people have stood strong against the evictions, the persecution, violence, and the criminalization. We have almost 50 compañeros accused for defending their rights.
The indigenous protesters also demanded the payment for 25 multicultural teachers in Lenca's public school system. The teachers have been abandoned by the government for over a year and are without payment. The multi-ethnic faculty staff have promoted and valued the culture of the Lenca people.
This is strengthening our motherland language, our way of talking, because the church and the traditional school have killed the traditions that we have as Lencas.
The Lencas also demand an end to the hydroelectric projects in the rivers, the continued mining in their mountains, and the lack of justice for Berta Cáceres and other indigenous leaders. This new coordination between the Lenca people will aim to increase organization and pressure against the government. Gerardo Torres, TeleSur's, Honduras.
Authorities in Brazil have arrested another member of the Workers' Party as the investigation into the Petrobras state oil company continues. Antonio PALOCCI, a former finance minister and presidential chief of staff, was taken into custody on Monday. Investigators say that PALOCCI acted as a liaison between the Workers' Party and Latin America's largest engineering and construction conglomerate, Odebrecht SA. This was between 2006 and 2013, in a political kickback scheme centered on contracts at Petrobras. They also allege that PALOCCI improperly approved loans from state development banks to Odebrecht in Africa and for oil platforms, and pushed legislation through Congress to help the company win tax advantages. A gunman that wounded at least 9 people in a shooting spree at a shopping center in Houston, Texas, was a lawyer. Nathan Desai was shot dead during a shootout with police. According to the city's mayor, Desai was disgruntled over matters at his law firm. A man in his 60s or 70s opened fire on shoppers outside a supermarket near Paris earlier today, severely injuring 2 people before fleeing the scene. The man, who is said to be known to officers, quickly handed himself in following the incident. Prosecutors have ruled the incident out as a terrorist attack and described it as a private dispute. Former IMF chief Rodrigo Rato was jeered at as he arrived at court for his trial for alleged misuse of funds when he was the boss of 2 of Spain's top banks. Rato is standing trial with 65 other former executives and board members of Caja Madrid and Bankia, whose near collapse sparked an EU bailout of Spain's financial sector. Former Islamist rebel Ahmad al-Mahdi, who admitted to destroying holy shrines during Mali's 2012 conflict, faces his judgment at the International Criminal Court on Tuesday. This is the court's first case to focus on cultural destruction as a war crime.
The Union of Human Rights Associations in the Gaza Strip has called for international protection for the Women's Freedom Flotilla coalition ships, which were set to dock in Gaza at the beginning of October. Human rights activist Amira Shaat spoke at a press conference at Gaza Seaport on Monday, in which she urged the international community to intervene to provide safe passage for the flotilla ships.
The Israeli threats to attack the anti-siege boats are against international law. They also contradict local laws and norms. However, these threats should be taken seriously. The Palestinian cause needs as much support from the international community as possible. International law guarantees the rights of those who support the oppressed.
Meanwhile, Avi Farhan, an Israeli organizer of the campaign to interrupt the Freedom Flotilla, had threatened to block the Eighth Fleet with more than 10 Israeli boats. Farhan, an extremist Jewish settler and evacuee of the former Israeli settlement of Palestina in the northern Gaza Strip, warned that he intends to end direct actions by foreign activists to challenge Israel's marine blockade on Gaza. The ZAYTOUNA-OLIVIA boat, one of two anti-siege boats with 30 influential women on board, departed from Barcelona in Spain 2 weeks ago towards Gaza, hoping to end 10 years of Israeli siege on the small enclave. The passengers include civil society campaigners, members of parliament, and renowned personalities from more than 20 countries around the world. 10 Turkish activists were killed in May 2010 after Israeli commanders staged a pre-dawn raid on the 6th Turkish-owned ship Flotilla as it tried to send humanitarian aid to Gaza. Nuharazin Tirsu TV, Gaza.
Golf great Arnold Palmer died Sunday at the age of 87. According to the US Golf Association, Palmer died while undergoing heart tests at a hospital in Pittsburgh, where he had been since Thursday. Palmer captured 7 major tournaments during his illustrious career, taking the Masters 4 times, the British Open twice, and the US Open once. More on these and other stories on our website telesurtv.net/English.